Hi Leo, welcome back. We are here to do your general and love read. Those of you who are new, the link is below for a booking. Now I am outside to get in touch with my creativity and obviously any energies that come through. I've pulled the cards ahead of time. Do be very mindful that there can be some trigger points by mid-month with the astrology. And without further ado, we'll get into the read. And I'm sorry if the light keeps changing. It is due to the fact that I am outside. But I wanted to get in touch with the vibes of outside. Okay, now, you do have an interesting read, and there is some energies of deep reflection going on, which is quite relevant, especially connected to the astrology. We do have an energy coming up of feminine frequency. Now, this can be anything relating to your mother, what your childhood wounds were, and with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, and especially linking in with Mercury and Mars, with our communication and the way we're feeling things, we potentially could get triggered. But whatever is coming up is no longer willing to be with us. So this can be in our general life as well, connected to our childhood. So there is a lot of core wounds. And we are moving into eclipse season again. So the eclipse is going to be in Cancer, and there is a lot of changes coming up, but we need to leave things behind in order for these cycles to end out. Your first card that you've got very much correlating to the past is where you're going to be looking at, and it is connected to failure and loss. So it's where things didn't come to fruition. It's where your hopes and dreams were dashed. It's paradigms. It's breaking down of the energy of what you once believed, which is now not relevant, although the wound is there. So it could potentially be holding you back. But obviously with astrology, it's a bit like going to the doctors and having a health check. You know, when these things come up, it's not that they're bad and it's not that you're a failure. There is deep reflection going over the past. Even though energetically you're already moving into the future, there are things that are creeping up in your subconscious mind. This can very much be relating to family, relating to your work domain, and almost how can I put it? It almost feels like an energy of you trying to be too many people. And you were trying to appease and please too many things, but you've changed and you can't stick in that vibration. It's like you've had a walk-in, so you do feel very different in your own life, but it's finding peace with that, and whatever comes up is needing to be left behind. It did cause conflict, but it may energetically currently be causing conflict because there's an attachment to that belief system and that wound. To the core, where you are standing right now is you are gentle, you're honest, you have this endearing nature, and all of us collectively do have this energy, but it's making peace with that energy of, you know, it could be you're really concerned about your children. It can be you're concerned about other feminine energies. And again, I'm hearing you're trying to be too many things. But you're also, by what paradigm are you trying to sort these things? You know, a lot of times we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and we're trying to be too many things to too many people, and there's a pressure build up, and there could be this state that you're going through where you physically feel cross at the fact that these energies are calling upon you, but then you're having an epiphany moment that you're one person. And with that energy, the clarify is other people's opinions are less important than my personal guidance system. You have this in reverse. Look at all of the hands coming at you. It's like, you know, every time you reach a goal or you set your eyes on a goal, it's like it's pulling you back. And although it's in reverse, I do feel you're going to have an epiphany about this mid-month. You are moving in your future position to the Ten of Cups. And this is the general section. So yes, it can be to love. It can be really, you know, trying to get that balance within your family, however that looks. It may be with your tribe, trying to get the balance in that situation, even if it doesn't make complete sense to the outside world. Also with this, what you will find, considering it is connected to your general life, it's reaching those hopes and goals and bringing them to fruition. But I do feel a lot of sidetracked energy where it's pulling you back and it's asking you to do things. And your conscious is telling you, but I'm focused on a goal, I really need to move towards it. But situations vibrationally are being attracted to you to put you and stop you in your tracks. Once you detach energetically from that, I do feel that the doors are going to start opening. Now, I have pulled areas connected to your work, your money, and your family, and then we'll get into the heart of the reading, which is love. Work. Now, with your employment, you do feel, for many of you, that you've been waiting a long time for certain things to get off the ground. You're wondering whether to invest in the situation any further. Now, this does not have to be employment. This can be anything you're directly working on. It can even be your love domain, because work and finances directly correlate with heart chakra and your abundance and your self-worth. What is coming through for this placement is that you're meditating upon a situation and you're trying to see whether to invest in it any further. You also do feel, for the abundance in your life and the good things to come, you keep putting yourself on hold. What's working for you is realizing that it's time to heal this frequency. It could be that you're taking the bull by the horns. And again, I have mentioned this in a previous video, the bull by the horns. And really, there was a lot of Taurus energy last month. So I do feel, in a sense of a manifestation, you're really wanting to hone in on that frequency of moving towards things that feel good for you. What is blocking you from financial abundance is, again, self-love. It could be romance, and it could be a family-related dynamic, which is very relevant. But again, I'm hearing too many people needing you and trying to find that balance in order to move those finances forward. Some of you may be really meditating upon, is this, in my highest good? Do I leave this place of employment? Do I invest any further in something really that I don't wish to? And really, you will have those answers in your mind. If vibrationally it feels toxic and it's out of alignment, it will naturally purge out of your life. And, trust the Tower moments. I mean, we do have Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter working with us at the moment. One could deem it as working against, but I actually deem it as working with, because it's showing us what is and what isn't in alignment. Now, you've got this, you've got, my manifestations are indications of my beliefs. And again, I did mention that by mid-month. And really moving into July, we are going to have a lot of energy where our belief systems and attachments and frequency are attracting the same. So if it's lower frequency you're tuning into, you will attract the same thing. So those blockages, as per se, and all these people needing on you, although, focusing on the goal at hand, the star, the abundance that you're moving towards in general in life, whatever that be, I do feel as though, with the numbers breaking down to a 5, it does denote change, and this did come up in your read before. When it does come to investing in it, only you can tell. If you vibrationally feel this is out of alignment, then follow your hunches, follow your gut, because it is an aspect of your intuition. Try not to give your power away with this situation. A lot of times we do tend to feel we don't have it in our control. Even if it's a work-related domain and you feel you haven't got enough clarity yet, continue till you do. Network, place resumes out. Follow your gut. Really do follow your gut. I do feel you're made of stars. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because what is within is without. So whatever you have in you or you're made of, regardless of what the planets retrograde are doing to you, they're making you, they're not breaking you. They're breaking the old energy down, but they're recreating the new. Look at the stark contrast, black and white, but there's shades of grey in between. What you feel's right, what another person feels is right, is a different thing. I'm also seeing that you're having to balance a great deal of situations in your life, but you have the strength in order to do this. Now, financially, I do feel your finances are going to get back on track. I do feel that you are grounded and you are able to manifest. You're also able to pull from experiences you've had previously. It may be that you have set yourself up to a point where you were prepared for certain dynamics, but I do feel in an education sense you have the strength to handle anything that comes at you in a sense of a curveball at left field. Continue forward. This is what's really working for you. Understanding that life is a journey and that you'll have your good days and you'll have your bad, but at the same time, there is a plan at a financial level. I do feel you're needing to take a leap of faith in, but you've got to follow your intuition if you feel guided to do such. With that, I do feel, providing you follow your gut and you understand there is a method to the madness, there's a process. Between now and August is really a solid time to see what is and what isn't working. with what's not working, although tower moments will come, as long as you're following your hunches and your gut feelings and you're changing dynamics gradually, I do feel you'll have great success and movement forward. Communication is the key though. If you hold communication back and you're not speaking your truth, it might be you're also waiting on a document to come through, and this is really blocking your forward motion. It can be also tax coming back for those of you who are in Western world, you know, where you're balancing your finances, you're balancing your checkbooks, and you're waiting for some sort of return. It could be some cash investment that's coming back to you, and what's blocking you is this finance coming in to proceed forward. I do feel, regardless of it taking a little bit of time, I feel other money is coming at left field. I'm hearing detach from this and something else at left field will come. Now, as I mentioned, with the nodes being in Cancer and other energies coming through, we're going to have a lot of feminine frequency. So this could be mother frequency. So we've pulled the cards for the family domain. And there could be some domestic situations going through where people's opinions of what you should be doing with your life or what they want you to be is very different compared to what you know you are. You could even be changing who you feel you are. Therefore, it's directly not their energy. It's the mirror and the projection of what you internally feel but have not potentially addressed as yet. If you need to go into hermit mode, do such, but absorb the vibrations, the opinions, the feelings, sit in meditation and then detach. What will work for you, again, is the toxic things that come up are so that it can be released and you don't have to carry it for the rest of your life. So if any crosswords come up and your truth comes out, this is what's going to help you actually resolve the situation that is blocking you within family. And this can be with your children, with your partner, it can be with your mother or a karmic, whatever that be. If it's coming to the surface and it's not pleasant, it's so it can be revealed and so it can be released. What will block you from this situation is not going into that thought process, not going into that pain body experience where you can actually, you need to think about it. You need to absorb what's being said. So I'm hearing absorb and then relate. It doesn't mean to say that it's bad if you do relate and it's a trigger point. It was necessary to happen and it was going to happen at some point in time. So please trust the process. But anything that's being shown around family is to release it so that movement forward can come. Okay, in your love domain, what you'd really been hoping in the past was there was going to be more teamwork. Things haven't turned out quite according to plan, and maybe there was more help in the past than there is now. And as time is changing and people are getting older and family is shifting, I do feel this energy is coming through where, again, because the process of family and kin is coming through by mid-month, and potentially for the rest of the year with the feminine energies, with, you know, the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn, there is this energy where we're looking back on the past of how things used to be, but we're measuring against that, and that's problematic because it's not like that anymore. And this is really the year where we're breaking down those paradigms and changing situations. So it's, some of the storylines aren't relevant. It's like we've had a spiritual walk and we feel very foreign, and a lot of the things that we're dealing with feel completely abnormal and foreign to us. So although we're marking it against past tense situations to protect ourselves, romantically speaking or physically speaking, we're asked to take that with us but know that it isn't the same situation. So the detachment is potentially necessary. Currently there could be conflict that you're dealing with, especially connected to your romantic interest. There could be the way you are perceiving things and the way they are perceiving things, but at the same time, there could be conflict on either side of the fence, but balancing and justice, and the injustices are coming to the forefront at the moment. This is actually assisting the both of you to actually overcome temptation. Okay, so overcoming the desire to run, overcoming the desire to retreat and not speak your truth, and to understand compassionately from each side of the fence why potentially both of you feel the way you do. Even if you're not in direct contact with this individual, these energies creeping up inside you are there to serve a purpose. So whatever's coming up in a trigger point and you're tuning into your love interest, this is all happening for a very real reason, but it is helping change doing things the same way. It's preventing us from doing things the same way, especially with Pluto and Saturn in retrograde. It's showing us what isn't working, and it's showing us what we need to leave behind. How you're directly feeling about it is this whole situation romantically and connected to your love interest. It's testing your faith, but it's also helping you come into a reality of what faith means. And faith very much does come back to belief systems. This can be Gaia, God, Buddha, Allah, whatever you believe in, but also belief in self. You know, part of it can be a dissension, and I mention this a lot when we're going through a spiritual awakening. Through the purging process, you do tend to descend, which is really get run down. Have a purge, feel emotional, lack of faith, and then you ascend because you're moving into that detachment and comprehension of things. So you're releasing those blockages, and then you're having a very light feeling, embodying the Gaia frequency. So I do feel as though this is moving it to the next level, and what you're ultimately wanting is to take this connection to the next level, or a connection you feel vibrationally in alignment with to that next level. It's a sense where you know that you're supposed to be feeling good things. Absorbing that in and tuning into pleasure is profoundly necessary. So even if you are not seeing this person, focusing on the good aspects of things, not the negative, is going to support you. But whatever negative is coming up, you need to address it. What will block you in this situation, and what is externally blocking you, could be your perspective on what an energy is that could be an older woman or an ex. So it could be you're tuning into an ex, be it male or female. I do feel this is an ex energy. And again, it's where love was and love isn't. It's like I'm seeing blurred lines, and it does feel as though there's this energy of you're very unsure about what the person feels. And that's happening on the external. Although you're trying to keep in the pleasant energies, external to you, what's hindering you is by having this third eye activation going on, where you're confused by how this is realistically at a 3D level. Both of you may be purging a past tense scenario, and this can be childhood. It doesn't have to be a romantic interest you had previously, although for some of you it will be. For some of you it might be connected to your mother and father's relationship. So energetically, their opinions, their feelings, the belief systems that you've held on to could be problematic, or it could be a person that you have not been in contact with and are not seeing eye to eye with, that's impacting your romantic sector. Okay, now how this person's energy is, this is the one that you're cross-watching for, so your love interest. This was for Leo, this is for counterparts energy. Currently, at the heart of the matter, how they're feeling is they could potentially feel very, very lost, very concerned, like they were let down, inner wounds coming up, reflecting back on the past. It could be currently where they stand, where they feel nobody understands them. And again, this can come down to mother frequency. Internally, what they're feeling and what the internal influences are is they're wanting to move forward. They want to get out of that frequency right away. They're not enjoying it, but it is helping with the purge. It's coming up because externally there is a lack of consistency within their life. I don't feel this is relating to them. I feel it's relating to a belief system. So by actually addressing it and being put in a pressure cooker, and addressing any fear-based frequencies they've got, they're realizing they don't want to be in that frequency, so they're going to have to shift through that purge. By shifting through that purge, external, they're going to see. It's a bit like the woman in the cobweb realizing that she's stuck, but she's really not stuck. It's going to show where consistency is necessary to dig themselves out of a situation. And I do feel this situation is going to shift by about the third week. Now, energetically, even if you feel this is out of balance, the situations that are happening this month are to help us get back into balance so that we can move things forward. Financially, there is great potential. I am feeling as though you're going to have epiphanies of where you do have power and where you financially can start putting your energy into. I'm also seeing documents that you're going to be looking at. With your family, I feel anything that toxic is coming up is necessary, but it's to clear the deck so you can start this new chapter. And romantically speaking, I feel there could be some conflict in a sense of confusions or vibrations, but ultimately I am feeling as though it's changing the both of you, where again it's inner healing. Both you with your faith and your belief systems and old paradigms that have been ingrained in you, and again it's similar with your counterpart's energy, where there is regret connected to the past and healing coming up to the past. You're having an ascension, they're having a descension, so it's very 3D 5D and it's swapping. But I do feel this is helping you guys be prepared of what to let go of, how to change, and not needing to protect yourselves, but being vulnerable and open to do this healing. And it is going to build the gap if you guys do work together. If you can purge and not retreat completely into hermit mode, I feel it'll heal it. But if you don't use your throat chakra, I do feel this will lag on a little bit longer. Love and light.